Greetings and salutations, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well today. Well, I want to apologize because I thought I'd get some more uploads up this week, but with my kids being off, and I think they brought a cold home with them from school their last day, it's kind of taken its toll on me. So today I've got some 3 incredible Dogman / Skinwalker encounters to share with you. Before we get into these encounters, though, a couple links I'd like to share as well. As you know, I rely on my Patreon, my PayPal, and my merch to help this channel continue to grow and go. Those links are in the description below. I also have a second channel for creepypasta, fanfiction, and scary voice acting. Stories that don't fit on this channel. That link is in the description below as well. I also started a GoFundMe page for some equipment to help do some urban exploration videos, some cryptid investigation videos, and some ghost hunting videos when the weather breaks in upstate New York. Now, if that's anything that you're willing to help with, that link is in the description below as well. And with that, guys, I've taken enough of your time. Let's get on with these Skinwalker or Dogman encounters, shall we? Today's first encounter comes to us from Gallup, New Mexico. Although Skinwalkers are genuinely believed to prey only on Native Americans, there are recent reports from Anglos claiming they have encountered Skinwalkers while driving on or near tribal lands. One New Mexico Highway Patrol officer told us that while patrolling a stretch of highway south of Gallup, New Mexico, he had 2 separate encounters with a ghastly creature that seemingly attached itself to the door of his vehicle. During the first encounter, the veteran law enforcement officer said the unearthly being appeared to be wearing a ghostly mask as it kept pace with his patrol car. To his horror, he realized that this ghoulish specter wasn't attached to his door after all. Instead, he said it was running alongside his vehicle as he cruised down the highway at a high rate of speed. The officer said that he had a nearly identical experience in the same area a few days later. He was shaken to his core by these encounters, but didn't realize that he would soon get some confirmation that what he saw was real. While having coffee with a fellow highway patrolman, not long after the second incident, the cop cautiously described his twin experiences. To his amazement, the second officer admitted to having his own encounter with a white-masked ghoul, a being that appeared out of nowhere and somehow kept pace with his cruiser as he sped across the desert. The first officer told us that he still patrols that same stretch of highway, and he is petrified every time he enters that area. Today's second encounter comes to us from just outside of Albuquerque, New Mexico. About 6 months ago, I was out with some friends on the mesa outside of Albuquerque. Half of the group wandered off to go sneak up on a party and scare them. A story all on its own. So I was left with my friend's girlfriend. I didn't know her that well at the time, so we were standing around awkwardly, not talking, when we both heard footsteps about 50 feet away. There's no light out there, so I couldn't see what was making that noise, and she was practically blind. I sneak off and around to try to see what it was. I get close enough, probably 20 feet away, and see a coyote walking. I said, "Oh," or something to that effect quietly, and it looked over at me. Which is weird because as far as I know, coyotes travel in packs, tend to avoid humans, and have huge ears, which wouldn't allow me to sneak up on one. It starts walking off, and this is when the strangest thing happened. It appeared very fluidly and naturally to stand up on its hind legs. For a couple of seconds, it looked very much like a middle-aged native. It walked down behind a shallow ravine, and I couldn't see it anymore. I haul ass back to the car and tell her to get in and lock the door. Then I left to go find my friend with a Colt 1911. I just told him I saw someone. He looked around and couldn't find any tracks. I was very confused at that point. Later, I started telling one of my close friends about what I had just seen, and she finished and jumped in and said, "Sounds like a skinwalker." I've tried doing some research on skinwalkers, but it's very hard to find information. Apparently, it's a type of Navajo black magic, where the shaman can move his spirit to other places and manifest as an animal that may or may not be of his choosing. They work outside of the mainstream religion and tend to sell their services. I can't find any more info beyond that. Today's third encounter comes to us from South Texas. After gazing out a window for about 5 minutes, my brother swears he saw what he could only describe as a combination of a humanoid-type figure with a head of a wolf-looking animal dart down the alley in a flash. He describes it as being able to see its ribs protruding through its skin. As it ran, he said it looked like it was bending over with its palms flat on the ground. He added that it didn't really have much hair, but appeared to have human skin, all the while possessing a translucent white smoke color all around it. Even as it was hunched over, he said it was about 5 feet tall and 5 feet long. The following day, he told my parents about it, and they happened to mention it to one of the neighbors. Turns out, a few days before my brother's sighting, their boxer had been stolen from their backyard. Instead of thinking my parents and my brother were a bunch of kooks, the lady neighbor, who we just found out was Native American and whose Native American mother had given her the dog as a gift, told my parents it was probably what the natives refer to as a skinwalker, and that it was probably looking for her stolen dog. She also mentioned that whomever stole the dog is probably cursed by now. Well, so many encounters out there with these cryptids looking like a dog. You can easily be tricked. Maybe it was a skinwalker and maybe it was a dogman. I want to say all three of these were definitely skinwalkers. Just from the region they were seen and the native areas surrounding that area. Anyway, I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. I wanted to get a longer upload out today, but my throat is killing me. Even drinking some tea and some nice ice cold water, it just is scratchy and not feeling good at all. So hopefully next week I feel better and I can get a bunch more uploads out to you, because I have a ton sitting on my desk right here in front of me. And with that, guys, I want to bid you farewell and thank you for all your support.